I slid the signed breakup contract across the table. Adrian, we're done. Opposite me, the man hailed as the god of STEM merely pinched an imaginary speck of dust from his fingertips. He lifted his gaze, eyes that could read every data stream in the world, flat and calm. Fine. But clause 2, the two parties shall never meet again. He chuckled once, then tore the paper to confetti. I don't agree. The scraps fluttered like snow. One landed on my trembling finger. My scalp prickled. Here it comes, the novel's warning sign that the obsessive male lead is about to snap. I've been trapped inside love in the lab for 3 months, rehearsing for this exact moment. As the disposable X, my scripted fate is to be mowed down by a rabid fan after the breakup, my gruesome death stealing Adrian's heart so he can chase the real heroine in icy, glorious earnest. Screw that love chase. I just want to live. So I must break up with him, gently, peacefully, without tripping a single psycho wire. Clearly, I failed. Why? His voice is soft, a cold scalpel skating down my spine. I force a polite, distant smile. Adrian, we don't fit. You like silence, I like noise. You need a partner who can keep up with you in research, someone like Brielle, while I just want to coast. Yes, go chase your destined heroine and stop wasting time on cannon fodder. He says nothing, only stands. 6'2" of intimidation looms over me. He rounds the table, step by measured step. The custom lab coat fits him like haute couture, austere and untouchable. I know the obsession coiled beneath that perfect skin. Talia. He stops inches away and leans in. The clean scent of antiseptic washes over me. He lifts a hand as if to cup my cheek. I flinch and jump back. His hand freezes midair. The air solidifies. Silence roars. I hear my heart pounding war drums. Shit, he hates being dodged. Slowly he pockets the rejected hand. The last flicker of warmth dies in his eyes. You don't like noise? Correct. Then who dragged Kendall to that music festival last week? I choke. How the hell did he know? You want someone who can match me? The mockery is unmistakable now. When Brielle hit a wall, who emailed her that obscure paper on protein misfolding in neurodegeneration? My pupils earthquake. He even knows that? I only wanted the original heroine to shine so he'd look elsewhere. As for coasting, his smile is a January icicle. Talia, you spent 96 days planning this breakup, skimmed 300+ psychology articles, wargamed 17 exit scripts, even drew me a tidy roadmap for falling in love with Brielle. Each word bleaches my face another shade. And you call that coasting? I feel stripped and shoved into a blizzard. How could he know? I was so careful, surprised. He pinches my chin, forcing me to meet his eyes. That AI sidekick in your laptop, escape plot, runs on my code. My brain whites out. Game over. My biggest cheat is his spy baby. He bends to my ear, voice a lover's whisper. You want to break up, do you? I don't even think about it. The instant the words land, he clamps my wrist and drags me deeper into the lab, into the zone not even the original heroine ever saw. Help, what if he locks me up? The massive alloy door hisses open. Instead of a dungeon, a cathedral of glass white and sky blue greets us. Holographic panels hover everywhere, data waterfalls shimmer in midair. At the center, a giant cerulean sphere turns lazily. My core lab, he says, come again. And a cradle of Archimedes. Archimedes, my accursed escape plan AI. Hello, Talia, a warm synthetic voice echoes. The sphere pulses. By Mr. Cross's top directive, I'm now on 24-hour standby for you. I twitch. Service? More like round-the-clock surveillance. He releases me and swipes up a wall-sized touchscreen. I know what you're afraid of. My heart vaults into my throat. Of course he does. I mapped every plot flag you mentioned. The display blooms into a tangle of crimson lines radiating from my name, each terminating in a grisly icon. Hit and run, rooftop plunge, kidnapping, toxic exposure. He recites them like grocery items. Archimedes gives you a 0.013% chance of surviving the year if you leave me. My knees go jelly. Multiple deaths? Being cannon fodder is overkill. Therefore, he concludes, turning, the safest place is by my side. Perfect logic, and pure nightmare. Sounds like house arrest with extra steps. No. I blurt. Adrian, this is my life. You don't get to decide it. I'm not deciding, he murmurs, smoothing a stray lock of my hair, gentle and terrifying. I'm protecting you. It's imprisonment. I snap. His hand stills, the temperature plunges. Imprisonment? The word coils low in his chest. If that's what it takes. He taps his wristband. Initiate lockdown protocol. No one enters or leaves the core. Supplies via bots only. Copy, sir, Archimedes answers. The alloy door rumbles shut behind me, airtight. I gape. He's actually doing the cliché black remark. Happy now? He asks, looking down at me with a cruel half-smile. Tears sting my eyes, my whole body shakes. You maniac. He simply smiles wider. Crazy for you, gladly. He strolls to the console and begins typing, ignoring me utterly. I stand stranded, furious, terrified, helpless. Deep breath, Talia. Outsmart, don't outmuscle, every transmigrator's motto. I swallow the tears and shuffle closer, tugging the hem of his coat. I'm hungry. His fingers pause above the keys. Without turning, what do you want? The spicy stir-fry bowl from the campus food court, 3rd floor. He'll have to take me there, crowds equal escape chances. He finally glances back, amused, as if watching a toddler's magic trick. Archimedes, replicate the 3rd floor spicy stir-fry bowl. Robot 3 will deliver. Understood. ETA 15 minutes. My grin dies mid-bloom. Damn high tech. 15 minutes later a roly-poly bot glides up with a perfect, fragrant duplicate. I devour it, channeling rage into calories. Across the room Adrian works, sneaking surveillance glances, like a scientist monitoring a snack-happy lab rat. Eat up, then run later. The internal intercom chirps. A holo pops up, his Lieutenant Zane, postgraduate workaholic. Adrian, external rig is dialed in. Brielle's team needs. Zane's words dissolve when he spots me, and my lunch. Titalia? His jaw unhooks. How are you in the core? I wiggle my chopsticks, mouth full of spam. Hey. His eyeballs look ready to roll out. The core. A place this crowd of PhD researchers had petitioned to enter 800 times without success. Adrian's private sanctum. And Talia, an art history major, was sitting right here, scooping up a spicy stir-fry bowl? Adrian frowned in clear displeasure and shifted sideways to block most of Zane's line of sight. What is it? Oh. Zane snapped out of his daze and hurriedly delivered his report. Senior Brielle says there's still a problem with the data model and hopes you can come take a look. Tell her to send the data over. Adrian answered without a second thought. TSK, the male lead halo is already wobbling. In the original plot he granted the destined heroine her every wish. Zane looked troubled. But the senior said, the issue is complicated and can't be explained online. Just then a cool, slightly anxious female voice cut in. Adrian. Brielle's hologram materialized beside Zane. Worthy of the original novel's heroine, she was in a white dress, her poise as pristine as a painting, even in virtual form. When she saw me, that perfect mask cracked for a split second. She quickly hid it, focusing only on Adrian. One key parameter in the model still won't converge, the whole project is stalled. Could you come over? A faint plea and reliance lurked in her tone. Here it comes, the destined heroine's cry for help. According to script, Adrian should rush over and flaunt his omnipotent boyfriend power. I pricked up my ears, ready for the show. Yet Adrian merely gave her a cool glance. No. Brielle and Zane froze in unison. Send the data, I'll have an answer in 5 minutes. Without allowing Brielle another word, he severed the connection. The core fell silent again. I blinked, a little dazed. Script's wrong. Where's the hero saves beauty scene? He just cut the line? Adrian turned and noticed me staring. His brow lifted slightly. Finished eating? Then come here. He crooked a finger. I walked over, puzzled. He pulled out a chair, pressed on my shoulders, and sat me down. Then he opened a folder, every drawing and design I'd done in college. What are you doing? I tensed. Aren't you an art history major? He pointed at a screen of incomprehensible code. Help me decide what color palette this UI should use. I looked from the alien glyphs to his dead serious face. An art major advising a top AI genius on UI colors? Are you kidding me? You're killing me here. Just as I was about to say, I have no clue, the lab's entry system blared an alarm. Alert! Unauthorized personnel attempting to enter the core. A surveillance feed popped up. Outside the door, a woman in a pink dress and flawless makeup was pounding frantically. It was Fiona, the research circle's infamous green tea queen and the vicious supporting actress who'd tormented me in the original book. Between slaps on the door, she sobbed at the camera. Alex. I know Casey's in there. Is she forcing you? Open up. I'm so worried. I nearly coughed up a mouthful of spicy stir-fry. Big sister, which eye of yours saw me forcing him? He's the one trapping me, okay. Adrian's face blackened like the bottom of a pot. Before he could speak, my brain short-circuited and produced a wicked comeback. I cleared my throat, adopted a squeaky green tea tone, and cooed at Adrian. Alex, I'm so scared out here. Who's that lady interrupting our alone time? As I spoke, I deliberately rubbed against his chest. Gross you out. You locked me in, now suffer the cringe. The air turned cemetery level still. Adrian's whole body stiffened. He looked down at me, his gaze so layered I couldn't read it, shock, bewilderment, and, unless I was imagining things, a strange flicker of pleasure. Outside, Fiona kept shrieking. Alex! Open the door. Don't let that gold-digging airhead fool you, she's not good enough for you. Adrian finally moved. Ignoring Fiona, he stared at me and asked in a hoarse murmur, What, did you just call me? My heart lurched. Crap, overplayed it. Does he think I've lost my mind? I gave a dry laugh. Haha, just joking, lightening the mood. He wouldn't let it go, tightening his fingers around my wrist, stepping closer. I like that joke. Whirlpools seemed to swirl in his dark eyes. Say it again. Psycho. My scalp prickled. Just as I searched for an escape, the comm rang again, still Zane, now looking as if he'd seen a ghost. Dr. Adrian. Brielle sent the data, but, because of the wrong parameter, the model has completely collapsed. Adrian's brows crashed together in a. He released me and strode to the main screen. Where smooth data curves had been, chaotic code now glittered, red alarms flashing. How could this happen? For the first time his voice carried gravity. I leaned in for a look. I couldn't understand the numbers, but I recognized the scene. In the original novel, this was the emotional turning point for the leads. The destined heroine, impatient, had used a wrong parameter and nearly wrecked the project. Just as despair hit, the male lead swept in, fixed the model, upgraded the algorithm, and cemented his legend. She fell for him completely from that moment on. Oh ho, is the story about to autocorrect? Watching Adrian's knitted brow, a wild idea sparked. If I solved this for him, would that prove I wasn't a useless airhead, earn his respect, and maybe soften him into letting me go? I'm no scientist, but I have the script. I clearly recalled the answer lay in an overlooked paper by an Icelandic geologist on the volcanic ash fallout model. Its algorithm fit their current distribution problem perfectly. I cleared my throat. The instant I spoke, Adrian, Brielle, and Zane all looked my way. Brielle's eyes showed open impatience and disdain. Art student, why butt in now? I read her gaze but didn't care. Pointing casually at a curve on the screen, I said, "This looks a lot like a diagram in some volcano ash paper I once read." Zane snorted but caught himself. Brielle frowned outright. "Casey, now's not the time for jokes. See? Elite arrogance, predictable." Ignoring them, I rambled on, pretending to struggle for words. It was by some professor in Iceland, studying how volcanic ash spreads. He said the dispersal isn't random, something about Laplace's demon, no, Laplace, distribution? I spoke haltingly, the perfect outsider butting in. Keywords delivered, up to you genius types to connect the dots. Zane wore a what nonsense face. Brielle's impatience morphed into total disgust. Adrian, however, looked struck by lightning. He spun toward me, eyes blazing. Laplace distribution. Sudden clarity lit his face, his fingers exploded across the keyboard. Of course. The non-normal features of the sample fit a modified Laplace model perfectly. Archimedes, pull every atmospheric fallout paper from the University of Iceland's geophysics department in the last 5 years. Searching. Match found, asymmetric Laplace-based volcanic ash fallout trajectory prediction by Eiríkur Johnson. Download algorithm core, map into current model, rebuild parameters. Yes, sir. Under Zane's and Brielle's stupefied holographic stares, the garbled code rearranged itself at lightning speed. In under 3 minutes a brand new, rock-solid blue model blossomed on the screen, sleek, flawless. Emery, diffused. The lab fell so quiet you could hear a pin drop. The projections looked like statues, eyes asking, who am I? Where am I? What just happened? I kept my awesome aura hidden, stepped aside, and crunched my apple. So? Surprised? Welcome to the Talia show, call me daddy from now on. Adrian still faced the monitor, but his low, laughter-laced voice rang clear. Talia. Come here. He beckoned. From today on, you're this project's chief art consultant. I'd become the chief art consultant. A title that sounded ridiculously impressive, but in reality it was just a cushy, do-nothing post. The salary Adrian offered me was unrestricted movement inside the core and a private computer he hadn't walled off. Yes. I can reach the outside world. The instant I got the laptop, I logged into my throwaway account and texted my best friend, million-follower beauty amroast vlogger Kendall. Me, SOS. Locked in a black site suite. Kendall rang me the next second. Holy crap, Talia, you're for real? You actually dumped the living devil? I tried. Didn't take. I dropped my voice and sneaked a glance at Adrian a few steps away. He's keeping me in his lab, soft detention. Kidnapping? Kendall shrieked an octave higher. Call the cops. Won't help, I sighed. He can spin it as couples kink, and this is a top-secret federal facility, police can't even get in. So this is Apex Clout Power? The law itself becomes his camouflage. Then what? I'm booking a flight right now. I'll sit in at the gate if I have to, I'm busting you out, she declared. No. I stopped her fast. You can't win against him. I need you for something else. Name it. PR Counter-Strike. I told her about Fiona wailing outside and the earlier smear campaign. That green tea witch, I've wanted to drag her forever. Kendall exploded. Hold up, I'm dropping a tell-all that'll expose her great-grandma's diary. Not on your main. And don't go head-on, that's tacky, I warned. I laid out my play-by-play. Kendall gasped between sentences, damn, yeah, a few days in lockup and you've leveled up? What can I say? Desperation unlocks achievements. Even bunnies bite. I hung up lighter than air, until I lifted my eyes and met Adrian's fathomless stare. He'd materialized behind me. Who was that? I almost threw the laptop. And no one. Telemarketer. Walk much? Planning to scare me to death and inherit my spicy stir-fry bowl? He didn't press. Just set a mug of hot milk beside me. Drink. Sleep early. Then he walked back to his workstation. Watching him go, I got the chills. How much had he heard? The next 48 hours were eerily calm. Adrian fine-tuned a new model and barely acknowledged me, while I kept my eyes glued to the trending charts. Kendall was worth every follower. She never attacked Fiona directly. Via a side account she posted across research forums and socials an article titled, When Art History Meets Quantum Physics, How Cross-Disciplinary Insight Illuminated a Top Lab. It spun a semi-true tale of a gorgeous art consultant who cracked a weeks-long impasse with volcanic ash theory, narrated in the breathless voice of an insider. Buzzwords like God's muse of inspiration, an artist the code kept hidden, a match made in genius and beauty heaven littered every paragraph. Mockery flooded in at first, keep writing, tomorrow she'll hand-build a nuke. Art majors stay in your lane. If the god of STEM falls for a vase, I'll livestream a headstand shampoo. Then, just as the thread sank, an _island appeared with one line, can confirm, basically accurate. Also, it's Laplace distribution, not Laplace demon. PhD aide to Adrian, Zane. Zane. He'd personally stepped in. Detonation. Zane's comment was a depth charge, the whole platform blew up. OMG, front row seat to a titan. So the art girl actually inspired the god? What drama? Calling out the headstand guy, let's see it. In 24 hours the tide turned. I went from clueless clinger to Oracle muse, while Fiona's earlier slander about Golden Cage imprisonment looked pathetic. Scrolling, my grin refused to stay down. Nirvana. So this is the high of a public opinion flip? Kendall, my superhero mouthpiece. Right then Fiona rang. I hit speaker, eyebrow arched. Talia, she screeched. You put Zane up to that, didn't you, you little, what spell did you cast on him? I dug at my ear. Jordan, chew food, not words. Slander's actionable. You. Just wait. Adrian will see through you. Doubtful, I drawled. After all, I'm now his officially anointed chief art consultant. Click. End call. Play bitch games, win bitch prizes. I was humming when, bam, Adrian again. He held a tablet open to our viral thread. My stomach dropped. Crap, busted. Time to die? You're doing? He asked. I stiffened. Yes. I asked my friend to. Nicely executed, he cut in, almost praising. Timing, angle, amplification, all tight. He paused. Tighter than the lab's own PR team. Quinn? Wrong reaction. shouldn't he cage me for being manipulative? He set the tablet down and stepped close. Still, you shouldn't have to. Leave the spinning to me. He studied me, dead serious. Your hands are meant for brushes, not flame wars. He lifted his hand, thought better, and tucked it back. My heart missed a beat. Illegal move. What's with the sudden warmth? His wristband flashed crimson. Archimedes spoke, Sir, Fiona's device is illicitly mirroring unencrypted D7 data. Evidence secured? Adrian asked, voice iced over. Archived. Trey sends at Stellar Tech RD chief. Stellar Tech, our biggest rival. Perfect. An Arctic smile curved his mouth as he speed-dialed legal. It's me. Activate Level A litigation, target, Fiona, charge, corporate espionage. I want her buried in court until the cells rot. He ended the call. Silence became glacial. Watching that ruthless profile, I shivered. Crap. I aimed for social death, he's booking her a prison debut. That's the male lead's true caliber, no move, no mercy, total annihilation. I quietly pulled my blanket higher and decided to keep my head low. Survival first. With Fiona gone, the lab turned quiet. Adrian burrowed deeper into data, while I drafted my grand jailbreak. Plan A, feign illness. I clutched my stomach, face paper white, and hit the floor. Ow, ow, acute gastro, ambulance, please. Any hospital with real people will do, let me run. Adrian strolled over, knelt, assessed, way too calm. Number 911. He triggered the facility's Apex medical protocol instead. 10 minutes later, a chopper marked National landed on the roof helipad. Off stepped a white-haired, ramrod sprightly savior, followed by assistants lugging precision gear. Zane whispered, that's Rowan, Supremo of GI medicine. Usually reserves his stethoscope for heads of state. Me, Rowan beamed, ran full diagnostics, verdict, too much spicy stir-fry, kiddo. Digestive gridlock. Moderation, okay? I lay in a suite that rivaled ICU, soul leaking out my eyes. I wanted a county ER, not a National Treasure house call. I can't carry this much face. Plan A ended in shameful luxury. Plan B, recruitment. My target was Zane. He was the only person besides Adrian who was occasionally allowed in and out of the Corps. While Adrian was away in a video conference, I crept to Zane. Sam, I said, handing him an ice-cold Coke, can we talk? Zane eyed me warily. Sis, Consultant Talia, what can I do for you? Calling me sis? Kid, your thoughts are heading into dangerous territory. When you head out next time, could you hide me in your equipment crate and smuggle me out? I measured a tiny space with my hands. Just for a second. I swear I won't cause trouble. Zane's face collapsed. Grandma, please spare me, he whimpered. Adrian will kill me. Literally, physically kill me. He's not that scary. I lied, lacking confidence. You have no idea, Zane whispered, horror-struck. Last month an intern accidentally knocked over the cactus you gave Adrian. Adrian booted him from the project on the spot and said he'd never work in academia again. Me, that cactus had been a throw-in so I could get free shipping. The mental circuits of a psycho are truly unique. Sis, just stay put. Good food, good drinks, and Adrian for company, plenty of people would kill for that life, Zane urged earnestly. Looking at his sincere face, I lost all hope. Relying on you? I might as well wait for Archimedes to defect. Plan B, failed. I was a bird in a golden cage, eat, sleep, or dragged off by Adrian to give artistic feedback on his icy lines of code. Days slipped by and my chances of escape grew slimmer. Until, a week later, opportunity finally knocked. The International AI Annual Summit was being held in town. Adrian, a keynote speaker, had to attend. And he actually wanted to take me along. Heaven is helping me. Crowds, chaos, cameras, perfect moment to bolt. I smothered my joy and put on my best obedient smile. Great, I could use some fresh air. Adrian studied me, I saying, "What scheme are you hatching now?" I didn't care. As long as I got out, there was hope. Summit day, I dressed in sleek athleisure, easy to move in. Adrian handed me a box. Inside lay a snowy white cocktail dress and a pair of 10-centimeter stilettos. Change, he ordered. Me, I can't run in these. I know, he smiled. That's the point. Me. Bastard. You win this round. The venue sparkled with the brightest minds on the planet. I teetered beside Adrian in that accursed dress and heels, a marionette on strings. He seemed to relish it, holding my hand everywhere, introducing me to every big name. This is my fiancée, Talia. My ankle twisted, I nearly face-planted. Fiancé my foot. When did I ever agree? Envious and admiring stares rained down. I kept smiling, cursing Adrian 10,000-fold inside. Then a jarring voice intruded. Dr. Cross, so young and accomplished, and never without a beauty on your arm. I turned. A 50-ish, balding, pot-bellied man waddled over. His oily once-over made my skin crawl. Zane whispered, "That's Teku's Taylor, Fiona's old mentor. Loves throwing his weight around and holds grudges." Ah, the fossil backing the green tea hag. Adrian's gaze chilled, he nodded politely. Taylor. Taylor wouldn't quit, aiming straight at me. So this is Casey, the famous muse. I hear Dr. Cross's latest breakthrough came from a single divine revelation of yours? He leered on revelation, sarcasm dripping. Heroes and beauties, eh? In my day we worked distraction-free. Now every hobbyist wants credit, an art major lecturing on quantum physics? Comedy gold. His voice carried, heads turned. I felt Adrian's temper spike, clasped his hand to hold him back. Easy, my leading man. I've got this. I stepped forward, smile bright and clueless. Professor Taylor, you said back then scientists were single-minded? Absolutely, he crowed. Oh, I dragged the syllable. Then how come your 1994 paper on superconductor phase transitions in applied physics letters shares 98.7% of its key data with a 1974 Soviet paper by Ivanov? A cemetery hush fell. Taylor's face bleached. Why, you're slandering. Ivanov, never heard of him. Really? I tilted my phone, screen outward. My friend's blog just dropped a post, *academic archaeology, the cross-border shoutouts we missed. *side-by-side graphs, color-coded. A copy-paste masterpiece. Gasps fluttered. Oh, I added sweetly, it's auto-pushed to every physics researcher and journalist worldwide. Your inbox is about to crash. I beamed like an angel. Taylor stared, lips quivering, sweat rivers rolling down his shiny forehead, looking at me like I was Satan in heels. Whispers surged, research misconduct? Copied a 30-year-old obscure paper? Pathetic. International embarrassment. Taylor's eyes rolled back, he toppled flat. I pocketed the phone, mission accomplished. Old dinosaurs need public pantsing. I spun for Adrian's praise. Instead I found his gaze, incandescent, devouring, pride, awe, raw possession. My heart stuttered. Crap, might have overcooked it. While medics clustered around Taylor, I slid backward step by step. Time to ghost. The stilettos had to go, barefoot, shoes in hand, I padded along the wall toward the exit lights. Crowds and strobing LEDs were my camouflage. Freedom's door loomed. A hand clamped my wrist from behind, iron tight. No need to look, that crisp Arctic aura could only be him. Going somewhere? Adrian asked, voice calm, volcano before eruption. I turned, frozen. Backlit, his face unreadable, the pressure around us carved out a dead zone. I needed the restroom, I croaked. Restroom? He stepped closer. Barefoot? Restroom? Heading for the exit? Wall at my back, nowhere left. Talia, he caged me, palms slamming the wall on either side, textbook corner press, all I felt was terror. Tell me again, low, trembling with danger. Why must you leave? No more icy logic in his eyes, only raw, overflowing panic and pain. A child about to be abandoned. Am I not good enough? Name it, fame, status, fortune, my life, it's yours. Why won't you stay? Forehead to forehead, his ragged breath scorched my skin. He was shaking, this demigod of data, actually shaking. My heart twisted. Don't make it hard to run, Adrian, let go. My voice cracked. Never. Not until you tell me why. What are you so afraid of? His question flicked the lock on my deepest dread. Afraid of what? Death. The same death the book promised, crumpled beneath cold wheels. All the bottled terror and injustice detonated. Because I'm going to die. I finally cracked, screaming it at him, hysterical. Tears spilled like snapped strings, completely beyond my control. Because in the book, 3 days after you dump me, your crazy fan will run me over with her car right at the crosswalk in front of campus. I don't want to die. I just want to live. Is that wrong? I spewed every secret in one frantic breath. The whole world seemed to go silent. Adrian froze solid. He stared at me, and for the first time his ever-penetrating eyes showed only blank shock. Book? The word scraped out of him. What book? The one I transmigrated into, love, the research goddess is hard to chase. You're the male lead, Brielle is the destined heroine, and I, Talia, am the disposable ex who doesn't survive past chapter 3. I babbled between sobs. My only purpose is to die and give you a dark turn buff so you and the heroine can have your tormented romance. I refuse to be cannon fodder, I just want to go home. I was empty. 3 months of buried secrets lay spilled on the floor. When I finished, I felt hollow. I slid down the wall, knees to my chest, buried my head, and sobbed until I couldn't breathe. It's over. I told him everything. He'll think I'm insane and ship me to the psych ward. Still better than being roadkill. I gave up inside my head. Seconds crawled. No mockery, no call for security, just silence. Adrian still hadn't spoken. I peeked through my arms. He hadn't moved from his wall-pin stance, statue still. His face was bloodless. Finally, he stirred. Straightening slowly, he pulled out his phone and dialed. My heart shot into my throat. Here it comes, the padded ambulance. Zane. His voice was hoarse. It's me. Immediately, pull every resource we have and find someone for me. A possible crazy fan of mine. Profile, violent tendencies, owns a white Honda, likely to appear at the AU front gate crosswalk 3 days from now. Find her. Whatever it takes. I jerked my head up, staring in disbelief. He ended the call, crouched, and met my eyes levelly. His gaze was a tangle of shock, heartache, lingering fear, and something like relief. He didn't think I was crazy. He believed me. The man who worshipped data and logic had swallowed my impossible story whole. So. He reached out, this time I didn't flinch. With aching care he wiped the tears from my cheeks. You kept trying to leave, not because you don't love me. But because you were terrified? I sobbed harder, nodding frantically. Suddenly he crushed me against him, so tightly I felt he might fuse me into his bones. Over and over, voice shaking with the relief of someone who'd just dodged annihilation, he whispered against my ear. Thank God. You still love me. Thank God. From that day, everything changed. Adrian stopped locking me in the lab. He simply refused to let me leave his orbit instead. Whatever the occasion, I was annexed to his side. Meetings, I sat beside him. Experiments, I sat opposite him. Even bathroom breaks were streamed to my tablet via Archie's live hallway feed, for mutual transparency and trust building. Transparency, my butt, you just want 24/7 surveillance. Yet his obsession shifted from imprisonment to hyperprotection. Zane located the crazy fan. A wealthy girl with paranoid delusional disorder who'd fixated on Adrian after he confiscated her phone at a lecture. Adrian never met her. He dispatched legal and psychiatric teams to her parents. After a cordial chat, the family shipped her off to a top overseas sanatorium for open-ended rest. The lethal plotline was excised at the root. I could finally cross streets without imagining headlights. Still, freedom eluded me. There's more than one threat, Adrian warned. Until every page of that storyline is rewritten, you stay inside my safety zone. That zone, a 3-meter radius with him as the center. Lab staff stopped seeing me as decoration. First arm candy, then muse, now the boss's vital organ. Brielle sought me out. No frost, no rivalry, only calm resignation. I thought Adrian needed an equal in the arena, she said, watching us orbit each other. I was wrong. He needs the one person who can make him lose control, an anchor. I wish you both happy. With that, the original destined heroine bowed out, Zen style. So, the plot is officially roadkill, right? I eyed Adrian carving an apple for me, conflicted feelings swirling. He peeled in one unbroken ribbon, focused like an artist. What's on your mind? He asked, handing the fruit over. When exactly do you plan on releasing me? I mumbled through a bite. He paused, stared. Never. Absolute certainty. Talia, you're not walking away in this lifetime. His gaze was as possessive as ever. Yet my heart raced instead of recoiling. Great, I'd developed captive bonding syndrome. Storyline, obliterated. Escape plans, retired. Partly because resistance was futile. Partly because being the sole focus of a prodigy felt habit-forming. I stepped into my role as chief art consultant for real. My aesthetics humanized their sterile halls. My empathy untangled the nerds' social knots. With Kendall, I launched the lab's official social channel, packaging breakthroughs into snackable science. Views skyrocketed. I'd stopped being a passive fish, I'd found my tide. Adrian, in turn, grew, almost human. He'd abandon billion-dollar code reviews to stroll the gardens if I asked. He attempted brown sugar ginger tea for my cramps, then surrendered the kitchen to Archie when smoke alarms protested. Still paranoid, still holding root access to every device I owned. Yet at 3 a.m. he'd page through my crude stay-alive escape drafts and hug me tighter, wordless sorrow in his eyes. Our strange equilibrium settled. Warden and ward, shield and sheltered. One afternoon, sketch pad in hand, I felt him drape his arms around me from behind. Talia. Let's get married. My stylist jumped, carving an ugly streak across the design. Again? He files proposals more often than lab reports. No rush, I deflected. Rush, he countered, chin on my shoulder like a giant wolfhound. Archie says signing the license drops your flight probability another 0.5%. Me, deploy your AI for mankind, not marriage metrics. It also finalized the wedding security blueprint. He added 360 coverage, guest bedding down to kindergarten records. Not even a fruit fly gets in unscreened. I laughed through my exasperation. Adrian, this is a wedding, not a main battle tank. Silent, he buried his face against my neck. I'm scared. Scared it's all a dream. Scared you'll vanish if I blink. Instant puddle, my heart liquefied. I turned, cradled his face. Adrian. I'm not going anywhere. I kissed him first. My final escape plan update is titled Playing Dead for Life Beside a Control Freak. Shock flickered, then blinding joy detonated behind his eyes. He seized the kiss, deepening it, fierce and reverent. Outside, sunlight drenched the quad. Inside the core, code still streamed like starlight across glass walls. I knew, in that moment, I would spend my forever tangled with this man of zeros and ones. And for the first time, I surrendered gladly. Thanks for listening. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you score today's tale? If you enjoyed, like and share the video. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more unforgettable stories. See you next time.